theme park quality productions at home that rival big budget events at local theme parks. We're excited to get a sneak peek at what some of SoCal's hottest honors have in store for Halloween 2021. Of Midsummer Stream, Rick West.
Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys? Any home hunt fans in the crowd? You've come to the proper place. All right. I'm exhausted. Are you guys tired? Have you had a good weekend? Did we do you proud? Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming out. You know, this has kind of been a seat of the pants experience for us. We had about a month and 3 weeks to put Awaken the Spirits together. And, you know, you home hunters know nothing like waiting till the last minute, right, to do things. So, but I think that it kind of came together. Would you say so? Are we going to see you guys in December for season screenings? Because you know we're going to have this little thing called the Hall of Yuletide Spirits. Gonna be fun stuff. All right, so the discussion today is really simple and pretty straightforward. As you know, the world's been on fire for the past year and a half, and kind of changed the face of Halloween last year. And I think that all of us are pretty sick and tired of not living our lives to the fullest. So we brought some home haunters today from across Southern California to talk about what they're gonna do to bring us back from the abyss this year. You guys ready to hear about it? Away we go. I have the magic clicker. Reichland Asylum! Wow! There you go. I think anybody go to Reichland last year? All right. It's the entire crew. It's fantastic. Okay. And how many are going to go this year to Reichland? How many are going this year to Reichland? Well, you know what? Go ahead and tell us a little bit about what Reichland is, how COVID impacted you last year, and where you're going this year for us.
Awesome. Reichland Asylum, we're a home haunt located in Riverside, California. This will be our 14th season, rocking it there at Riverside. There's up on the screen is a picture of our 2020 display. COVID kind of hit us in a different way. Typically we do a full-blown home haunt walkthrough that's about 5,000 square feet. Last year we had to kind of make it a little smaller and move down to a display for the season, but it turned out to be very successful and very popular for us.
There we go.
There we're back.
We have a runaway PowerPoint. You guys saw, I didn't touch anything, did I? Awaken the Spirits, that's all I'm saying.
So this year we'll be back bigger and better than ever. We're going full-blown back to our walkthrough this year. We'll be just over 5,000 square feet on our property in Riverside with a full brand new theme, a brand new story, all brand new rooms. We're going all brand new this year. And you can actually, this year, you get to come face-to-face with one of our longtime residents of the asylum, Matthias Lamb. You might have seen him walking around here today.
House guest.
He's there. Hi, Matthias. This year you'll get to enter Matthias's Playhouse, our brand new theme and story for 2021.
Nice.
And we're very excited to bring it to everyone this year.
What do you think? Fun and exciting stuff. Okay, let's see. Dreich Society, here we go. Oh, this is really going to keep me on my toes, isn't it? What the hell? You know, the weekend's going pretty damn smoothly, and here we are, the last panel of the day. All right. All right, Sean?
Good.
Who knows Dreich Society? Who's done Dreich Society in the Hall of Shadows before? All right. Tell us about it.
so this year will be our 21st season. I started back when I was in high school. We did the whole thing. We did the newspapers and the trash bags. We used anything we could get our hands on for walls, and now we have all of the lumber that goes in. We have our elevator effect, which sadly has died. Our elevator.
These things happen.
Yeah, blame the winds. You can blame the winds last year. That was a big thing. Besides COVID, we also had the winds to worry about, which demolished our last 3 rooms, but with my crew and I, we were able to get it up in a day. We repaired everything in a day. As far as COVID though, 2 big things that we had to worry about. One was actor safety, and the second one was making sure that everybody who came through was safe. So we had the plexiglass, we had the masks, and I think it was around June, July of last year, we decided we originally wanted to do a display, but then we realized, no, we have to do something for Halloween. We cannot let anybody down. We cannot let Halloween die, even with COVID going on. So we said, we're doing it. We're going to bring it. We're going to bring our A game. We're going to do everything that we possibly can to keep it going, and that's exactly what we did. So we had the plexiglass. We had face coverings. We had a reservation system installed, and it was perfect, guys. It was great.
Not bad enough you got COVID to worry about, then the winds come and blow everything down.
Exactly.
Aren't you ready to become a home haunter? Fantastic. Well, you guys certainly did well. And you know what Sean says, it really embodies the spirit of what happened last year. You know, with the theme parks closing down their operations, really, the home haunters across Southern California really stepped up and saved the hell out of Halloween. So, it was pretty amazing. So let's talk a little bit about this year. Let's see what I have.
So this year we are going to be rounding out our Fear Fest trilogy. So 2 years ago it was Fear Fest 1989. You went through 80s horror movies. Last year it was Fear Fest 1941. You went through all the classic Universal monster movies. This year it's going to be a little different. We have a Grindhouse theme, but there's going to be a twist. All of the movies that you go through are original creations. You're going to be going through movies that we created, such as Dino Warriors of the Year 3000, Phantom of the Ice Ring, Feaster Bunny, and the Meat House of Dr. Moreau. Very tongue-in-cheek, and I'm going to give everybody a little spoiler right now. Well, not a spoiler, but a little hint. You might be chased by a Zamboni.
There's no funny comeback to that. You're going to get chased by a Zamboni.
You're going to get chased by a Zamboni.
As you do. So, awesome. Who's excited? Great, and we love what you and the team do, and we'll be there eventually with this thing. So cool, thank you. Oh, Wheel of Fate, where are we gonna go now? Gavin, where are you at? Is Gavin in here? Almighty AV guy, can you come get the clicker from me, and we'll just run this manually? I'll tell you to advance, because I don't trust it, and it's gonna spoil things. AV guy, ladies and gentlemen. So now we're just going to wait for you to get to the back and advance the next slide. This is how we roll here. Corona Hunt! Wow! All right. Mason and his team do a fantastic job every year in Corona Hunt. And how many people went last year? All right, well, let's talk a little bit about that, and when we tell you, the next slide has a video, but we're going to get a little intro on this, and then we'll kick it back to you.
All right, so Corona Haunt, I originally started in 2012. I had went to Halloween Horror Nights for my first time in 2012, came back and told my father I wanted to put AVs in our backyard. He looked at me like I was a psycho. I showed him some videos, and he's like, oh, this is really cool, you know, like we can do this, and each year I wanted to get bigger and better, and in 2016 is when Joseph actually joined my team. Hi, Joe. And after Joe joined the team, we started to kind of use both of our brains to really push the boundaries with Corona Haunt, and now I feel like it's become so great with him on the team. It's been really awesome, and I couldn't ask for a better partner.
The monster with 2 brains. We love it.
But 2020, originally we were not going to do a haunt. We were a little bit back and forth with it. And the end, well, our main like catch was Not Scary Farm and Halloween Horror Nights. And as soon as we got the word that they were canceled, we're like, oh. But we both decided, like, oh, we need to keep it going. Keep it moving, keep it going. We introduced a reservation system, a virtual queue. Masks were required. We got rid of all of our hanging props, all of our strip curtains, but we ended up designing the base specifically for that purpose, like without our strip curtains, without separating the scenes and stuff like that. And I think it turned out pretty well.
I think you did all right. Cool. Well, let's you have a video. We're gonna see a video now, right? All right, we'll go to the next slide, and there's a video there.
Hey everybody, I'm Mason, and my name is Joe, and we are the creators of Corona Haunt. We're so excited to be back another year here, but this year is just a little bit different. We're celebrating 10 years of fear, and with more events than ever, you won't want to miss out. Join us September 12th for Real Real OC, where Sweet Tea Awakening is a long-awaited comeback in a hands-on experience. And just a few weeks after, join us at All Hallows Eve, our special effective projection show running October 1st through October 3rd. And of course, come back to experience our largest haunt since 2012. And this is one year you definitely don't want to miss out. We'll see you here at Corona Haunt this season.
All right. We like videos. Thank you. That's fantastic. So now he's been the biggest haunt you've had since what, 2012?
Since we started.
Yeah, so
Bigger, better, and longer as well.
All right.
I guess I'll give one thing away.
You can. What are you gonna give? What are you gonna
This
do?
haunt features 7 full facades in our backyard.
As you do. Fantastic. All right. Well, we're gonna be looking out for that. Big thing from me. That's great. And you know what? You're a young hunter. I mean, you've not been in this for like decades and decades, so like this is really fantastic. And we are seeing this, and what we've always wanted to do with Midsummer Scream and now our little spin-off shows is really kind of give props and pay attention to what's going on in the younger ranks of the home haunters, because guess what? The younger haunters, they're your John Cooks and John Murrays of tomorrow, right? So these guys deserve a platform. We're giving them a platform, and that's what we do, because you guys are the bedrock of the community, and that's really fantastic. And we're really excited to see what these guys are doing every year. So here we go. What's next? I can't hardly wait. The anticipation's killing me. Realm of Shadow. All right. Hi, Ron. Hey, how many people are familiar with Realm of Shadow? Okay, no, this is good. This is good. Ron, tell us about what Realm of Shadow is and a little bit about how it impacted you guys last year, and then we'll go forward.
Yeah, great. We've been doing things, started out at my house about 25 years ago with a yard display, because I really wanted to do something for Halloween and give something to the community. And so my wife was gracious enough, like so many others, to let me do whatever I wanted. And boy, we just didn't stop. And so we've been going forward for 25 years. And we got to 2020, and that was the year after great reception at Midsummer, and we're really looking forward to it. In January looked great, and we were getting all our stuff ready to go and submitting all our documents and designs, and yeah, and then the world blew up. And yeah, it changed everything. COVID changed absolutely everything, not just for our haunt presentation and what we want to do for the community, but I'm a pastor at my church, and I team up with another one of our pastors, and we've been doing this together for all these years. And because of COVID, everything at the church changed, and so all the staffing has changed at the church. And As we went through all of last year, we're thinking, okay, well maybe, July things look promising and people are going back to work, and yeah, no, that didn't happen. And I have the fun of living in LA County, where we don't do anything. I mean, Orange County, good for you. LA County, no. So yeah, that's right. And we got down to it. We went ahead and we didn't get to do what we consider our pre-build at midsummer. So we went ahead and just started our normal build for Halloween throughout the summer, going into August and September, still thinking we were going to do it. We put all our COVID policies up in place, ready to go, and we got word, I think it was at the beginning of October, from LA County saying, you guys are totally banned, you can't do anything. So that was a heartbreak. Getting our people back into service mode, so to speak, has been a real challenge. Because, life is a void. If you're not doing one thing and you move on to something else, it just fills everything up. So what we found out is that, because things changed in the churches, roles changed in the churches, I'm back to being the person completely in charge of everything, which is both terrifying and a lot of fun, right? So what my mode of thinking is, if it's impossible, great, then that's exactly what we're going to do. So it turns out I measured out our lot about 3 weeks ago, and we're at least double in size of what we were in 2019. And so I'm really looking forward to actually pulling all this off. And I got this whole long checklist of different scares and stuff that have to be built and whatnot. I'm just like, that's fine. We'll get it done. And we're going to be starting our build, our actual build, in about 2 weeks. So one big, really cool announcement is 2020 was going to be a big year for us because we were already moving to a larger location. It's still in the city of Bellflower where we're based, but COVID happened. That location is no longer available. We were wondering where we were going to go. We have a brand new location. My wife is actually a elementary, middle school principal. She just became principal, and since I know the principal, we get to use the whole school back parking lot for the haunt this year. So yeah, really looking forward to that. Getting the information out. Just updated the website, realmofshadow.com. I encourage you guys to check it out, see what's there. We're going back to, if you read the story from Midsummer, it was the Temple of the Fallen God. And yeah, there we go. This year, it's Dr. Hammery, but it's his family manor at 665 Diabolkai Way, which is Diabolkai was the fallen god temple that we went to in 2019. This is the manor house, and the layout is the attic space of the manor house. And if you go online, you can actually read the whole story about what's going on. I'm really excited about it this year.
Dude, that sounds really great. So, pastor of the church has a haunt. Very progressive. I like that. When I was a wee lad, I went to Not Scary Farm in the early 80s for the first time with my church group. So go to church. There's the takeaway, folks. You learn all sorts of Halloween tricks.
We're here to serve.
That's awesome. Perfect. All right, we'll do the next slide. Get you right back here. So we're really excited, man. Who's excited about Realm of Shadow? Really. And boy, sounds like you got bigger. We all got bigger during COVID. It's fantastic. Awesome. Well, we're very excited to see this. And we are, before we end, so you guys don't have to shout it out, we are going to make sure that you guys know exactly what city everybody's in. So, all right, let's see what we have next. Okay. So, Monica gets to tell you. Now, so here's the deal with this. There's going to be some people in the audience like, huh? So, Tunnel of Terror is not a home haunt. It is a pro haunt because it's a paid experience. But it was just so cool, but so funky, we didn't know where else to put it. So we dropped it in your lap. Are you okay with that? All right. How many people went to the Tunnel of Terror last year? because we drive around all over Southern California looking at haunts here and there, and got to get your car washed while you're out and about. So what a better combination. So Veronica, let us know, what was the origin story of this? Origin story.
So Halloween was canceled. For us, every year we usually do all of the theme park, multiple nights. Like October, Halloween is our favorite time of the year, and we dedicate it strictly like to just go and experience all of these cool haunts. And since the theme parks were closed, we were like super sad. We're like, now what do we do? You know, it was just for us something that we, you know, who could have imagined like this is really happening? And we went to a few of the haunts, and we were like, you know, I actually encouraged my boyfriend, Mom, why don't we do something? Because every year we get about 100 of our friends, and we do like, we call it a family field trip, and we go to Knott's Scary Farm. So that's the time of the year where we see all of our friends and have fun for Halloween. And so why don't we do something for our friends, right? But we don't really have the location in our home. We have a cul-de-sac, so it's like we can't really do a whole lot at home. And with everything going on, I said, we can do this. We should find a location where they can drive through, and we'll put this together. I don't even remember exactly what I said, but I must have been very convincing, because that night, Long reached out to the local car wash. The next morning, Long calls me and says, you need to be at the car wash at 10 in the morning. And I was like, for what? So I was
The car wash.
We have a meeting about doing a haunted car wash. And I was like, oh, okay. So literally within a week's time, we put together a haunted car wash experience. And so we got together with friends and family. We started reaching out to everyone we knew when the car wash said they were all in for this. Everyone was excited about it. Obviously, a lot of our friends weren't working at Knott's Scary Farm and on other places, and so we had an awesome turnout with our talent, and the help that we received was just overwhelming. It was also everybody that showed up. We weren't expecting it to be that successful. Like the first night, you know, I got together my Halloween decorations. I showed up to the car wash, dressed it all up. Long did all the lighting, and you know, sat around, waited for all of our friends to show up. They were ready to go, and wow.
You guys had it was a huge turnout.
Wow.
Yeah.
We were like, uh-oh.
Oh, what did we do?
What did we do? There was miles of cars lined up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good problem to have.
We were not going to be able to get everybody through the car wash that night, and we definitely jumped on the computer that same night, our opening night, and started the online ticket sales. And from there we sold out 3 weekends leading up to Halloween.
Wow. That's fantastic. That's really, and you brought a video for us to see.
Yes.
So folks that are saying, well, let's see what brought all these cars. Let's take a look at the next slide. It has a video, and we'll get to see what this thing is all about. you know, I get my car washed all the time now, and now I don't go through a car wash anytime without thinking of Tunnel of Terror, right? The monsters in the water, and boy, that's the gig to have, because when you're a haunter here in SoCal, it's like hotter than hell the first 3 weeks of October. These guys were in the water, they were in the suns and everything. That was like the monster jam to me, right? It was very, very good.
So much fun. It was
So
much
that's
fun.
great, and so, well, yeah, we're really excited about that, right, guys?
Thank you.
We'll go ahead to the next slide. That means we're going to open up the discussion here some more. So you were talking about people that you had come to help you guys, right? You had a lot of vets, right? So one of the blessings that home haunts and smaller scale haunts had across the Southland is that with the parks being closed, they really had the lion's share. They had the pick of like hardcore vets from the different theme parks. So I know that, Veronica, I know that you guys got a lot of that. Did any of that spill over to you guys at the home haunts or anything, or was it just your own crews? Anybody? Anybody can talk.
Yeah, it was just our own crews. Our crews are very loyal to us, and you know they want to help us continue every year. But we're always open to more.
Yeah, good. Well, you know your crew, everybody's great. Like this is like no hype, because I never hype anything, but like all these attractions are really fantastic. You know, it's always hard when you go to a haunt and maybe the crew isn't really that seasoned or whatever, and it's like, no, it's like when you go to your kids' thing that they created and it sucks, you know, and it's like, oh, it's really good, you know. But these guys, they really do a hell of a show, and if you've been, you know that I'm talking the truth, and you're gonna go this year, and you're gonna really see that I'm talking the truth. How long, like your crews? How long would you say, like, have people mostly been with each of your haunts since like day one? How does that evolve for you guys?
I'll take it. I've been doing it for about 14, 15 years now, and we have people that have been with us since year one, nearly. Some of them came on like within the first couple of years. We've been able to kind of build a family over the years, and we pride ourselves on the fact that a lot of our actors have been with us for so long. And we're really proud of a lot of our people because they do move on to do, like you said, bigger and better things. We have several people that, you know, started with us maybe when they were in high school, and now they're at Knott's Scary Farm or Universal. So it's pretty incredible what, you know, a home haunt can do for people.
Yeah, in the 21 years that we've been doing it, I know that our the one guy who's been with me for the longest is his name is John Gomez. He's actually right over here, and he's been with me since 2005. Since 2005, he started out just as a regular character. He's been a pirate. He's been Mr. Freeze when we did Arkham Asylum, things like that. And he went from character to the guy who designs the entire layout of the maze. And from there, we just had different volunteers come and go. I think the most we ever had was in 2012. We had 19 volunteers. And now we've got about a solid crew of 9. And we do everything. We build it all. We scare. We do the infrastructure, everything.
Ron, how about you guys?
We got about a solid group of about 5 guys, and Irene. 5 guys and Irene. And that stays pretty constant, but I would say the rest of the crew has changed as we've grown. So when we were doing things much more simply, you know, we had people who were in for that. And then the more involved you get, they kind of went, it's a bit much, you know, and then we get a whole other group that's just really into it and stuff. So I would say over a 25-year period, we've probably turned over the crew about 4 times. So, and this year will be a complete turnover. So I'm kind of interested to see if anybody from the past comes back from prior years, you know, and things like that. But usually if you don't have that really solid core, you can't move forward.
Well, it's great because this, you know, instead of detention, your wife just sends them to build, right, for you guys, right? That's the way to do that. Cool. Are there any questions in the audience for the haunters? Go ahead.
How do you volunteer to be part of your group?
How do you volunteer to be part of your groups?
We have an online forum on our website. We just ask a few questions to get some basic history from you. You submit it, and then we just start the discussion, and we just let you know what we have available, what we're looking for.
And this is actually a really good point. Let's go around at this point real quick, and you guys just tell everybody what city that you're in. Okay, and if it's a city that, like, I've grown up in Southern Live from, and I'm like, where the hell is that city? I've never even heard of that. So if you're in one of those cities, what are you next to that everybody would know? So where are you guys at?
This year, our new location is in Norwalk, California, which is by Downey and Pico Rivera and Bellflower.
Perfect. We're out in Riverside, California, out in the Inland Empire.
We're out in Corona.
Now, Corona, it's up in the hills though, right? So I'm thinking Corona, I'm thinking of like the part of the freeway that gets crushed by Vegas traffic every week, right?
That's exactly where it's at.
So you guys are up on the hill though, right? You're up.
We're actually right when Corona starts. So we're about a mile into where Corona starts. But we're definitely tucked away, away from everything else. But we're right where the freeway decides to come to a screeching halt every single day.
Yeah. All right. And Ron, where are you guys going to be this year?
We're gonna be in Long Beach.
In Long Beach, okay. Oh, Long Beach, next summer. We're coming for you next summer, Long Beach. How about you? Where are you guys at?
We're in Ontario, California, in the Inland Empire. About 4 or 5 times a year, I always get a question. So, what part of the province are you from? Like, no, not that Ontario. I'm in California.
That'd be a hell of a drive for everybody. Awesome. So good. More questions. I saw there were other hands. Questions?
So I have a home haunt, and one of the things that I have found to be most difficult to deal with is balancing your regular work schedule with the time that you need to actually build, be good enough for what you want, while still keeping, professional.
First of all, if you're a haunter, you have no life and no work schedule, because that's probably what you're doing for a living. So, no, but seriously, how do you guys manage to balance? Well, you're busy one day a week. So, how do you guys balance out that work life?
Lots and lots of coffee.
All right, coffee.
No, seriously. I just try to take things one step at a time. What I do is I try to set myself a list, and I go, okay, how can I prioritize this? And then I go into when it comes to the maze, I go, what is the most important thing that we need to do? And then just one step after another. And as long as you start early enough, and I cannot stress, if you think you're starting early enough, you're not starting early enough. I've had some years where we started in September. We've had other years where we started the first week of October. Fortunately for this year, we started about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and we already have our first room up. So.
Ron, what was the question? So, real life versus putting your haunts together.
Well, for us, we actually, it was a little different than these guys. We did arrive the day of the event every day to set up, and we would break down every night as well, because it's a car wash. So they're going to open in the morning and run their normal business hours, and our stuff just can't sit there all day. So that's for us. I just have to get super organized. I dressed up 3 areas of the car wash last year, so I just made sure that each area was already organized and it's, together. Organization, I think, is really the key for that, for being able to set up quickly and then put it all back together, pack it all up and roll it back into the car wash building to be ready to go for the next night. So, yeah.
Nice, yeah. Mason?
It's not easy. It really isn't. Joe works 40 hours a week, and I work at Starbucks. So they're luckily flexible with my schedule. Disney, on the other hand, is not. So we kind of play like the fortune wheel of like, oh, what day do you have off this week? And I'm like, oh, I have this day. Oh, I have that day. And it's like, oh, okay. But each year we start a little bit earlier. This year we started in July. And I think even though he only gets the 2 days off versus like the 3 or before that we used to get together. I think it just depends on communication. I feel like it's very, very English. It just relies on communication. I feel like that's the most important thing. And then as long as you have that communication, you're able to, get things done.
Yeah, totally.
I think Rick said it best, honestly. During build season, my friends and family pretty much know, don't ask me to do anything because, it's build time. It's crunch time. We got stuff to do. As long as I've been doing this, it's still kind of a struggle that we always try to balance with. And as difficult as it is, I think being organized and having a plan, like kind of Sean said, getting everything in order ahead of time, it makes a whole difference.
Yeah, I actually have a full-time job.
I know, but I couldn't pass it up. Would you have passed it up? No, I had to. Now I'm going to hell, but
Yeah, I'm chief financial officer at another nonprofit. So I would say my best advice and admonishment to you is get up and do the work, even when you don't want to, especially when you don't want to, because you don't have the time to say, I'll do that later or I'll do that tomorrow. You can't not go work on it a day because then you won't be ready. So you give up your life between whatever time you start and a month after, because you got to tear it all down and pack it up. So your life is not your own, but you're doing it for your love of the community and the love of people, right? So you just got to commit and just say, no, I'm going to commit, I'm going to get it done, and it's going to be the best show ever.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So selecting who was going to be up on the stage both today and yesterday was a pretty difficult task because all you have to do is pull up like the SoCal haunt list or whatever, and there's like a gazillion haunters. So I would be remiss if I didn't say, for every haunter that's representing up here, there are at least 10 or 15 other really amazing home haunts out across Southern California. More than that, you can go out literally every night in October and see different haunts and still not see everything that's out there across Southern California. And it's pretty remarkable here. We have an embarrassment of riches of haunts here in Southern California, and it's really a very special thing. And they're not just up here by applause. How many haunters are in the audience? Right? So they're among you. So that's great. Do we have time for maybe one more question or so? Yeah. Biggest challenges you face, not including COVID, can't go COVID, and winds, no winds. Next, what's next? What's the big problem?
The city.
The C word, all right. Yeah, the city, yeah. Cities and really, we touched on this a little bit yesterday, but we should reiterate, these home haunts, even though some of them have been around literally for decades and decades, they're very delicate things. And you may think that the entire show, this is an enrichment for the community, this is a treasure for the city or whatever. No, it takes one neighbor that has a burr in their side, and you're done. And these things are gone that have been around, entertaining thousands of people for 30 years. You get one person that's bent, and they're gone forever. So whenever these haunts are in trouble, we really need to rally around them and support them and love them and really kind of prop them up, because they're gems, they're treasures here in Southern California. So Sean, what would you say, other than all the other calamities we've been facing, what's the toughest thing to overcome?
When Halloween falls on a weekday and nobody can get work off.
That's when you're sick. No?
Yeah, basically. So we actually ran into that problem when we did Fear Fest 89 Halloween night. There were so many people that had to call out. There were only 4 of us that were in the maze as scarecrows. So I had to get into costume. Now, I try to get into costume every year, but for that particular year, I was working front of house. I had to jump into a Jason Voorhees costume, and because we had the elevator, as soon as I scared them and they went into the Shining Room, I actually had to run the entire perimeter of the maze, grab a hold of the elevator, help rotate it, open it, close it, rotate it back, and then I had to wait for them to go into Poltergeist, and as soon as they went into Poltergeist, I could cut across the maze and go back into the reset position until before the next group came through. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to that the next time, but we did learn our lesson. We did learn our lesson. From now on, in the next few years, we're going to have mazes that don't have specific monsters for each room. Any monster can be in any room, and I'm like, no, thank God.
Perfect. How about you, Mason?
Wins is obviously, you guys know that. I think for us the biggest struggle is my ever-shifting backyard. Being that we are located like right on the edge of a hillside, the backyard like moves, and there's pieces of concrete that aren't level, and every year it seems to me like they get 3 inches bigger. So that's
Time to move, Mason.
Yeah,
Just saying.
it's gonna end up breaking off the side. I think that's one of our biggest struggles is trying to really make sure that we're building it, effectively and safely, with everything kind of moving at all times, and getting volunteers. It's a hard one too.
Yeah.
Cool. I think it's a great problem to have. We're quickly outgrowing our space. Like you were saying, issues with city and stuff always happen. On some of our busier nights, we get a couple thousand people out in front of our house in our residential neighborhood. So we take up the entirety of our property, front, back, driveway, everything outside. We use for haunt space. So we're quickly outgrowing it, and I guess it's a good problem to have. But
That is a good problem to have. And Veronica, it's like, I guess your problem is when people say that they paid for gold and they got a brass watch. I don't know. What's the big problem at the car wash?
No, luckily no one complained about their car wash.
You're like, it's not mine, honest. We just come and set up every day and there's monsters and then we leave. Not my problem.
No, they're washed. Their cars are washed. Everybody was happy with their wash. The city, first night, but we got that under control. And then parking, I believe, because even though we don't have neighbors, like the business next door was giving us a hard time about parking in their parking lot, and they're closed at night.
Now this is parking for your staff. Because nobody's walking through your car wash, right?
Yeah, we had media night one night, and then so it was hard to find parking for them, and getting them in and out of we switched it into the car wash parking, and then just getting everybody in and out safely and
you guys have a long chain of cars. These are haunt problems, right? Yeah, absolutely. Ron, did I ask you what your biggest issue was? City. Oh, the C word again. I forgot. Okay. Well, yeah. So, before we wrap up, we have time for one more question. Who's going to be the last?
What is your budget normally look like? How are your all
Wow. Here we go. Okay. Be prepared to be so underwhelmed. Are you ready for this? Budgets, folks.
every dollar in my bank account at that time. I know it's hard to put a number on it because for us, we spend all year long, we build all year long, props and stuff like that. So we try to save our money and save up for bigger things we want to buy. I don't think you want to know how much money we spent on Hall of Shadows 2019.
Nope.
Too much. Mason, you want to take over that? We'll talk about too much?
Not really. I mean, you kind of said it. Like Joe and I, we really work all year to kind of just deplete our bank accounts. We work day, night, and when the time comes, it's like, oh, I did all that, and then in the very end, you're like, oh, this is worth it. I don't even have an estimate for you. Like it can range. Like it depends on what you're getting. Too much. That's all I can say.
And I can just cut to the chase and let you know, like, it's going to be the same answer for everybody. And that's the beautiful thing about home hunters. I literally, before we came in here, here, I was talking to a magazine journalist. We were doing an interview, and we were talking about like the money. I mean, Halloween is like a $10 billion plus industry. And I told her, I said, well, the haunters sure as hell, they're not seeing that. You know, maybe you guys are fueling that, but home haunters, there's no home haunter, and I've been covering home haunts for almost 30 years now. There's no home haunter that I know that makes money anytime. They spend hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of dollars over the years doing this for you guys to come out, spend 5 minutes there, say, wow, this is really cool, and then go on to the next thing. These guys spend like all of their free change to build these things. So you guys certainly aren't, you know, making mint doing your home haunts, but you guys are certainly pouring your hearts and souls into it, as well as your bank accounts. And we appreciate that. I know you guys appreciate that. For me, because you know I kind of get around when it comes to Halloween stuff. The home haunts are always my favorite. People say, well, what's your favorite part of Halloween? It's not even a question, it's the home haunts, because that's where Halloween starts. That's where the seed is planted, that's where it grows, and you turn it into beautiful, big things. And you know, they don't have millions of dollars that the theme parks have to pour into these haunts to rake in then more millions of dollars, you know, to put towards other IPs and all that. You guys are just doing it out of the love of doing it. You know, you are busting your ass and spending all your cash just for 5 minutes of people going through and screaming and running out laughing. And that's an amazing thing. That's an incredible service to the community. So make sure to check out all these guys online, but more importantly, make sure that you check them out this coming holiday season. They need you there. We're gonna have a hell of a Halloween, aren't we? And then I think some of these guys may even be coming back here to be part of all the Yuletide spirits. So that's a fun thing too. So guys, thank you so much. You know, the weekend is almost over. We are almost at the end of our journey, and I just, again, on behalf of the entire Midsummer team and everybody that's worked here at Awaken the Spirits, thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your support and love. You know, you got lots of things that you could be doing with your weekend, and you're here with us. And that's a hell of a thing. You guys are the best community in the world. You know that. Thank you so much. And that's it. That's the end of our little spring show on the